Good day, sir. Good day, ma. So this is one of our many softwares, and this software can be deployed on multiple organizations. You can use it in a school, you can use it in a church, you can use it in a manufacturing firm, in a store. In this case, we are going to be using it for a school settings, and we're going to use it to track financial accounts regarding fees, school fees, textbook purchases, school bus fees, PTA levy, career day, cultural day, end of the term party, and so on and so forth. We are also going to be used to issue receipts, and then we are going to be used to track mini student records. So it is a very powerful accounting software. So we are going to start by, first of all, issuing the first invoice of payment to the student. So I've created some demo students and some demo items that the student is going to be paying for. So we'll start by putting under the client name the student name. So I created the student Sandra Toyin, and in this case Sandra Toyin is in GSS 3. Now in the invoice date, this is when the date you are creating the invoice. Of course, you can backdate anytime. Now scrolling down is what the student is paying for. Here I'm going to type here, and here you can search for whatever the student is going to pay for. Let's say the student is going to pay for career. Just type in career, it brings up career day. Or let's say school, just type in school, it's going to bring up school fees or school bus or whatever. So we're going to say GSS 3 school fees because Sandra Toyin in this case is in GSS 3. So if she's going to pay for first term, second term, third term, the school fees for GSS 3 is 50,000, and if she's going to pay for the 3 term, I'm going to put for 3 here as a quantity. So 3 times 50,000 is going to give me 150,000. If she's going to pay for 2 term, you can put 2. So you can always customize the fee here in case there's a slight change in school fees. So I'm going to put it 1 in this case. Then I'm going to add item. So the AI software is asking you, is there another thing the student is paying for? Since it's the beginning of the term, she's also going to pay for PTA levy, and PTA levy has been programmed to 10,000 naira. So she's paying for PTA levy. I'm going to press add this item. Then she's also going to be paying for her textbook, GSS 3 English textbook. Of course, when I was creating this demo account, I recorded 200 quantity as the pieces for the English GSS 3 English textbook. So the software can track your profit, telling you, of course, you tell the software this is how much I bought the textbook. Let's say I bought the textbook 2,500 and I'm selling it 3,000 naira to the student. The software can tell you your profit after all your students has made purchase, or as they are making purchase. It's instantly telling you your profit. But in this case, I did not record the profits. If you want to see how the profits work, you can request for another demo, because I'm trying to make this demo a 5-minute short video that I can send on WhatsApp. So here I've programmed the GSS 3 English textbook to be 3,000 naira, and I've set it to 200 pieces of this textbook in the school store. So automatically selecting GSS 3 English textbook, 1 was programmed to come out on the AI software, and it's telling you have 199 left in the store. So all the admin and whoever is using this software can see what you have left as your imputing the records for the student. So I'm going to press add. So whatever the student is buying, again, that's GSS 3 math textbook, and here you have 2,000 pieces. Selecting 1 is telling you have 1,999 left in the store, and it's sold for 4,000 naira. I can slightly change the price to 4,200, of course, if the admin gives the accountant permission to change price during sales. Of course, I didn't mention that there are permission levels in this software. Not everybody can change anything. The admin has the right to restrict certain people, like the accountant, the certain level of accounting staff, to access certain records. You can block them from seeing certain things. You can block them from changing price. You can block them and say, okay, just record textbooks, just record school fees, use this department, just record this, don't see this, don't see that. So if you want to see more details about that, you can request for another demo. I would slightly do that. So I've recorded the GSS 3 math textbook. I'll press add item. So and then the student is also paying for career day. So career day is 12,000 naira. So I'll record that, and also they are paying for PTA levy, and then PTA levy is 10,000 naira. So I'll add that. Then they'll be paying for school bus to Ikeja. So school bus to Ikeja for the term is 20,000 naira. If they are paying for 3 terms, it's going to be 60,000 naira, but in this case it's just 1 time. So I'll press add item. So these are what Sandra Toyin is paying for. Her total money is going to be 109,200. So scrolling down, I'll go to the payment mode. In payment mode, I'll press the paid. How is she paying this money? So this is very important. This is the main deal. So she's paying to Access Bank. So on what day did she pay to Access Bank? Because the day you're creating the invoice might be different from the day she has paid. She might have paid 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and you're creating the invoice. So you can always backdate and select the day that the money was paid to the bank, because the software will tell you this is how much came to Access Bank on this day, or this is how much is in Access Bank. Of course, there are the banking side of it, of which I will go slightly into, and if you need more information, I'll create a new demo and tell you about it. So the total money is 109,200. So let's assume Sandra Toyin is paying just 70,000 inside this fee. Now I'm going to press, she paid let's say she paid yesterday, so I'm going to press add. So 70,000 has been recorded. The AI software will tell you Sandra Toyin has a balance of 39,200. So for her fees for that term. So I'll save the invoice, and then I'll create a new invoice just to show you just to really explain to you how this software work. Now this invoice is going to be for Sylvia Tochi. Now Sylvia Tochi is an SS1 student, and I'm creating this invoice. This way you can backdate the invoice, you can put a reference, you can do a lot with this software. I can't just fit everything into this one video, but I'll brief you on the most important part of it. So Sylvia Ikpe is going to be paying for let's say SS1 school fees, which is programmed at 90,000 naira. She's going to be paying for one term, so I'll add this item. She's going to be paying for also SS1 chemistry textbook, which is programmed at 6,000 naira, so I'll add this item. Then she's going to be paying for SS1 physics textbook at 5,500, and it's telling you that you're going to have 499 left in the store. Of course, it was 500 that we had in the store, so we are selling one, we have 499. So I'll add this item, and then finally she will pay for PTA levy, which is 10,000 naira, so I'll add this item. So the total money is 111,500. So I'll go to the mode of payment, and I'll select the bank she paid to. She paid to Money Point, which is part of the school account, and in this case she paid the money in full, which is 111,500. Here you can backdate, you can add a note, something you want to remember while she's making the payment, and here you press add, and you can see the balance here is telling you 0.00. Here you can attach receipts, the bank receipt that she paid. Here you can choose image, and then add the image of the receipt. You can add a note, anything you want to remember, anything related to the payment down here, and then you can save the invoice. So now going back to your invoice list, which will show you all the payment that the student has made, you're going to see Sylvia Tochi, her status is totally received because she paid the full money of 111,500, and then Sandra Toyin, her status is partially received, and here you have it at 109,200, and the balance is 39,200. Now I'll make one more invoice just to prove a point, and this will be for Femi Ade, who is also a GSS3 student. So I'll select the school fees for the GSS3, and that is 50,000. I'll add this item, and then I'm going to select your GSS3 English textbook. Is now showing that you have 198 because one was sold to Sandra Toyin. I'll add this item, then I'll add the maths textbook, is now 1,998. I'll add this item, and I'll add the career day, I'll add the PTA levy, add the school bus to Ikeja, and then finally I'll add the end of the term party fee. So the fee for the total fee for Femi Ade is 106,000. So instead of them making this payment, in this case I'll say Femi Ade did not make any payment, and I'll just save the invoice. So going back to the invoice list, you're going to see that one was not received, one was received, and one was partially received. Femi Ade did not make any payment, so his money is not received. Sylvia Tochi paid in full, so it's totally received, and Sandra Toyin is partially received. So I can filter it. I can say, okay, show me all the students that is partially paid. I want to send them home because the deadline for the school fees has reached. On clicking partially paid, it will show you all the students that are partially paid. On clicking fully paid, it shows you all the students that are fully paid, and on clicking on paid, it shows you all the students that are not paid at all. You can filter it also by time. I will say, okay, show me the students that have paid this week, to show you, because I created this invoice this week, you see it. If I say, okay, show me the one that paid this month, I can filter the date from what day to what day, and from what day to what day. Show me those that are paid from this week, only 7 days. I'll filter the date on 7 days. So also you can filter it by client. I say, okay, show me everything that Sandra Toyin has paid for. Clicking Sandra Toyin to show you everything Sandra Toyin has been paying for since when she was in GSS 1 down to when she's in GSS 3. So you can also, going down to the reports, going to the reports, you can see a lot of information in the report. It is very detailed. Now you can see Femi Ade telling you there's one unpaid, meaning you still owing the balance of 106,000. Sandra Toyin is owing the balance of 39,000, and Sylvia Tochi is not owing. So clicking on Sandra Toyin, you can see her mode of payment, the day she paid, the bank she paid to. Let me try and zoom out a bit so it fits in. So she made this payment on the 2nd of April, and 70,000 to Access Bank. So here you can go down to, there are a lot of information down here, of which I will not go into detail except you request for this information. I'll go back to cash and bank reports. Then you would see all the money that was paid as cash. You can see there's no money paid as cash, but there's money in Access Bank. Access Bank, when I was creating the Access Bank mode of payment, I created that Access Bank had 1.2 million in the account. So 70,000 naira was received on the 2nd of April, received from Sandra Toyin. So the total money in Access Bank now is 1.2,070,000. So because the opening balance is what, 1.2 million plus 70,000 will give the total down here. So Money Point, I did not create an opening balance for Money Point. You can see the opening balance is 0. Then we received from Sylvia Tochi a complete fees of 111,500. So the balance is 111,500 for Money Point. And then if you see, because Femi Ade did not pay, you are not going to see anything about Femi Ade. So you can see on the report here you have transaction history, sales and payment mode. The product report will tell you more on the product that we're buying, like the textbook. So for April, we're going to see Career Day. We had 2 people paying for Career Day, totaling 24,000. End of the term party, 1 person paid for the month of April. So I can say, I can filter it to weekly, I can filter it to daily, or I can filter it to monthly. So you can go down to sales by top client, that's by top students. You're going to see Sylvia Tochi is a student that has paid the highest amount of money, and Sandra Toyin is the next person. Then Femi Ade has not even paid at all. So the top selling products in the store, this is where you're going to see it. Invoice aging, and those are for those that are owing the school. You're going to see, so this AI will prepare the data and tell you the top person that is owing is Femi Ade, he has not paid at all, followed by Sandra Toyin that is owing 39,200. So this is a detailed sales report, and this is purchase report. These are things that you are purchasing, like your textbook you are purchasing from your supplier. It tracks what you are purchasing from your supplier and tells you your profit as you're selling them. And yet this is the details purchase report. This is a profit and loss report where you see your profit and loss report. This is your product wise report telling you this is how much you have in your English textbook, this is how much you sold, this is are you making profit or you're making loss. So this is your invoice wise profit and loss report telling you, as per every invoice that you create, are you making profit from this student record or are you making loss. So this is student profit and loss report, sales and tax report. If you want to track your school tax report, this is it. This is expense report. Since you're doing, like for example, you repair the school dining hall, you repair the roof, you paid someone to clear the grass, you paid staff salary, and you do anything that relates to expense, this is where you record it. This is commission report, payment account report, and like the one we just did now, cash/bank report. So if you need more information, you let me know. But this is the overview of the sophisticated accounting and financial report software that you can use for your school to track your school payments and financial records. Thank you. I remain Paul Ikpe. Like I said, if you have more questions, just reach out to me and I'll answer all your questions comfortably. Thank you very much. Bye.